Now, we've learned a few things about permuting n things, n different things along a line, right? If there were n different things and we had to arrange them along a line, then there are n factorial ways of doing that, right? That's called the permutations of n different things taken all at a time. And that permutation was referred to as a linear permutation. Now, for example, if I had three things, say A, B, and C, and I had to arrange them linearly in all possible ways. What are the various ways in which I could arrange all these three things? ABC, BCA, CAB, BAC, CBA, CAB. Okay, so there are ABC and then there is like a ACB, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 ways. So 3 factorial ways, right? 3 factorial linear permutations is what we refer to this as. Linear permutations. However, if I have to arrange these 3 things in a circle, right? If I had to arrange these 3 things in a circle, then what I'll have to do is I'll have to fix one spot for any one of the 3 things, right? I have to fix one spot for any one of the 3 things, and there is no way to distinguish between different points on the circle when there is nothing on the circle. When there is nothing on the circle, when it's a blank circle, when there is nothing on the circumference, this point or this point or this point or this point or this point, they're all the same. So I pick up A for example. And I first place A somewhere. In how many ways can I place A? Well, there is only one way I can place A, because no matter where I place A, on the circle, I could rotate the circle and bring A somewhere here, right? So there is only one way I could have placed A. Now, once I fixed A, which is only in one way, then I could have, relative to A, B and C could have been fixed here, or I could have had A relative to A, then there is like a C and B. That's it. There are only two ways, right? Suppose instead of 3 things, I had 4 things. So there are 2 circular permutations, 3 factorial or 6 linear permutations, but 2 circular permutations. And of these 2 circular permutations, look, one is like a ABC clockwise, the other one is like a ABC anti-clockwise. So half of these circular permutations are clockwise, half are anti-clockwise. Now suppose instead of 3 things, I had 4 things, ABCD. So if I had 4 things ABCD, then there would be 4 factorial linear permutations. 4 factorial linear permutations. Let's see how many circular permutations. So what we do here is, we start by fixing A somewhere on the circle. So A, I fix here. And there is only one way I could have fixed A. Right? And then, this becomes my reference point. Right? When the circle is blank, there is only one way you could have placed, let's say A. And then this becomes the reference point, and with respect to these points, now it becomes relevant to position B, C, and D. So I could have done this. There could have been a B, a C, a D like this, B, C, and D like this. There could have been, say this is A, there could have been a B, a D, a C like this, right? Or I could have had, say, A, and I have C, B, D like this, right? Or I could have had, say, A, C, D, B like this, right? Or I could have had, say, A, D, B, C like this. Or I could have had A, D, C, B like this. How many are these? Realize that there are 6 circular permutations. 6 circular permutations. Right? And do you see, for every circular permutation that you pick from here, say there is like a, this is like a circular permutation A, D, B, C, which is clockwise. There is a ADBC which is featuring clockwise. ADBC which is clockwise, that is featuring here. Let's see if there is a ADBC featuring anti-clockwise. Yes, there is a ADBC which is featuring anti-clockwise. This is like a ADBC featuring anti-clockwise, which means with every arrangement which is clockwise, I find an identical arrangement which is anti-clockwise. That means half of these circular permutations, which is 3, are clockwise, and half of these 6 are anti-clockwise. Right? Now, one thing noteworthy here is that if these ABCD were 4 people to be arranged around a circular table, if I had to arrange things around a circular table, different things, A, B, C, D are different things, and I had to arrange them around a circular table, for example. If it's around a circular table, I had to arrange 4 things. Then this ADBC would be different from this ADBC. So clockwise and anti-clockwise are different. So all these would constitute the count, the total count. That means 6 will still be the total count, of which half, which is 3, is anti-clockwise, half, which is 3, clockwise, right? Because clockwise and anti-clockwise arrangements will be considered different if I had to arrange or seat people, let's say, around a circular table. But the key thing is, why am I getting fewer permutations here compared to, let's say, 4 factorial permutations that are linear? Why is it that there are fewer circular permutations and there are more linear permutations? Hey, it's as simple as this. When I had to arrange ABCD in 4 spots, if ABCD were 4 things to be arranged in 4 spots linearly, then what really happened was, these 4 spots in a linear arrangement, were different. They were distinguishable. That means A could have been placed in any one of these 4 places because they are different. So A could have been positioned in 4 ways. These are 4 ways because these are 4 different positions in a linear arrangement. And then B could have been placed in any one of the 3, C could have been placed in any one of the 2, and D could have been placed in the remaining 1. That's why it becomes 24. But in a circular arrangement, when I had nothing on the circle, and I had to fix, let's say, A somewhere on the circle. It's a circular arrangement around a table, say. And I had to fix A somewhere on the circle. Then fixing A anywhere is the same. There is no way to distinguish between one point and another point on the circle. Right? So if I had to fix A, then in a circular arrangement, there is only one way I can fix A, because whether I fix A here or I fix A there or here or here or here, that's only one way. There is no way to distinguish between one point and another point on a circle when there is nothing on the circle. But now that I have positioned A somewhere on the circle, referred to A, B, C and D can be placed in, let's say, these 3 places. These 3 places, 1, 2 and 3. In these 3 places referred to A, I can place the remaining 3, that is B, C and D, in these 3 places in 3 factorial, which is 6 ways. Half of them would be clockwise, half of them would be anti-clockwise, like I mentioned, right? So that is why you get a lesser count in a circular permutation compared to an equivalent linear permutation or a linear arrangement. Now, having said this, what you must also understand is that suppose I had n different things. I'll only generalize matters here. N different things, say A1, A2, A3, AN were n different things. And I had to arrange them in a circle. Then what is it that I do? I fix one position for A1. There is only one way I can fix a position for A1, because all these positions on the circle would be deemed the same when there is nothing on the circle. So I fix a reference point. One of them becomes a reference point. One of them becomes a reference point. And if one of them is a reference point, then the remaining n minus 1 things, 1, 2, 3, n minus 1 things can be placed in the remaining n minus 1 spaces given this reference point is n minus 1 factorial. Right? Which means if there are n different things to be arranged in a circle, then there are n minus 1 factorial ways of doing that. Fix one thing so that I have a reference point, and the remaining n minus 1 things in these n minus 1 spaces can be filled up in n minus 1 factorial ways. And exactly half of these would be clockwise and half of these would be anti-clockwise. Half of these would be clockwise and half would be anti-clockwise. Now there are times when the clockwise and anti-clockwise arrangements are considered the same, because suppose I had to create a garland. Say of 4 flowers A, B, C, D. I fix one garland somewhere and say there is a B, C, D. That's one possible way to create a garland of 4 flowers, right? And another way to create the garland of 4 flowers could have been, say, A, B, C, D, which is and referred to this is an anti-clockwise. This is A, B, C, D clockwise. This is A, B, C, D anti-clockwise, right? But do you realize that they are really the same? In the case of a garland, they are really the same, because if I flip this 180 degrees, I get this, or I flip this 180 degrees and I get this. You could always flip a garland 180 degrees, yes or no, right? Which means if anti-clockwise and clockwise arrangements were indistinguishable, they are the same, it depends on the situation, like it happens in a garland, then the n minus 1 factorial count that I get of arranging n things in a circle where the clockwise and anti-clockwise arrangements are indistinguishable, then the count is going to be half of n minus 1 factorial only, because I'm going to just look at the clockwise or the anti-clockwise because they are the same. So suppose I look at only the clockwise or only the anti-clockwise, then the count is going to be half of n minus 1 factorial in a situation where clockwise and anti-clockwise are considered the same. That can happen in a garland. But if I have to arrange people in a circle, then clockwise arrangement of 4 people and anti-clockwise arrangement of the same 4 people will be looked as different. So you have to take a call, you have to draw a judgment on that, right? So this is how it goes. I'm going to share more facts on permutations, circular permutations, very shortly with you. So much for this time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.